Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to HG Radio, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. Here is your co-founder and host, Kim Becker.
Hello, gorgeous, and thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and this is Hello, Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for your mind and soul. I am so excited to be here with you today, and in this episode, you get just me. And we are going to talk about garbage in and garbage out. We're going to talk about the stuff that you put into your body, the stuff that you put into your mouth, the stuff that you put into your mind is all the stuff that comes back out. So we're going to do a little bit of an investigative 25 minutes here to think about what it is that you're putting in, because you really can't put negative stuff in to your body or into your mind and expect positive stuff to come out. It doesn't work that way. So that's the emphasis of what we're going to talk about today. However, before we get started, I wanted to share a little story of what I get to do and what I got to do today that I don't get to do enough on a daily basis, but it was pretty cool. So as you all know, I am the co-founder of Hello Gorgeous, and we provide complimentary makeovers to women battling cancer. And it'll be 10 years next year that we started the salon affiliate program. So we actually empower salons across the United States, and we teach them how to create the Hello Gorgeous experience. And in turn, they take care of one woman each month battling cancer in their community. And so it allows us to have a much further reach of being able to help a whole bunch of women battling cancer smile when they look in their mirror. Well, this program would not have existed if it weren't for a salon owner by the name of Sandy Zanka. And Sandy was our very first salon affiliate. And I remember when my brother-in-law and one of our other team members went into her salon and asked her if she would be willing to participate in this program. She said yes, didn't even really care what it was we needed her to do. She was so touched and so moved by our mission that she wanted to help any way that she could. So Sandy became a part of our program, and she was literally our very first salon affiliate. And because it worked with Sandy, we were able to open these affiliates across the United States. And so Sandy herself was in our program for 8 years. In December of last year, she retired. It got to be a lot. She's running a salon. She's caring for her elderly mother now. And so it really got to be too much for her. And so at the time of her retirement, she performed 97 makeovers on women battling cancer in the community in her salon. And so today we got the opportunity to surprise Sandy. So we showed up at her salon unannounced. We had a bouquet of flowers and we had a bouquet of balloons, and we had this beautiful plaque made for her. And we just wanted her to know how much we appreciated her. We wanted her to know that if it weren't for her, the program that is across the United States now wouldn't be where it was without her and her willingness to be able to help me and the women battling cancer. So we were able to go in today and give her a big hug and treat her like a queen, like she was able to do so many times when we were able to, that she was able to do with women battling cancer across the United States. So I just wanted to be able to share that with you, and I wanted to be able to say thank you to Sandy. And my day started off on such a good note because I was able to go and make preparations for someone and make them feel very special. And she probably didn't even think that what she did was very special, but it meant the world to us, and we needed her to know that. So anyway, let's get on to our topic today. So our topic today is garbage in, garbage out. We've all heard of that saying, garbage in, garbage out. Basically, whatever you put in is going to come out. So whether it's positive or negative, you really need to be aware of what you're putting into your body, but also into your spirit. So I want to share a story with you about my sophomore year in high school. When I was a sophomore in high school, we got to choose the classes that we wanted to take. And one of the classes that I wanted to take was a basic computer class. Now, I should have known because basic, the word basic was in all capital letters. But I thought, well, that's what I want, right? I want to learn about computers and I want to do something. And I certainly don't want the advanced computer class. I want the basic computer class. Well, the computer teacher, he was kind of a nerd. He was in the right way, teaching his computer class. And he gave us an assignment. Now, this was years ago. And it was a programming class, which I didn't know then. And what I found was basic wasn't the type of class that it was actually the computer language. It was basic language. And he gave us an assignment. So this was, if you put this character in, then this would come out of the computer. And basically what you were doing is you were programming this computer to do 3 X's and then leave 4 spaces and then do 3 X's and do 2 zeros. So by the time you got done, it came up with this, block figure of some sort, but you programmed it to be able to do that. And with the computer, it was, you go to this line and you tell it to do this, and then the next line you needed it to do that, and then the next line you needed it to do this. So we were able to do that, only to find out that as we were going through, I couldn't figure out exactly how to end. There was a certain line where we got stepped up. You couldn't go past a certain point. And I couldn't figure out why. And I was up until 1:30 in the morning, and this particular project was 30% of my grade. And I had an uncle that worked for Avanti that was a computer guru. And I took it over to him, and he and I were working on it together, and we couldn't figure out what it was. So I take the project in, and I'm feeling defeated. I know I'm going to fail because I can't get it to work, only to find out that there was no way for it to work. That the instructor of my high school class he didn't give us the right information. He didn't give us enough information to put in to actually get it past the sticking point that we had. There was no way that I was able to get out of that program what I needed it to, because I wasn't putting in the right information. So I started to think about that when I was preparing for this episode, and I thought, isn't that true with us, right? If we don't put the right stuff into our mind and the right stuff into our bodies, there's no way that we can get out the positive stuff that maybe we want to put out into the world. So I'm going to challenge you with some of the questions today. So I want to talk about what you're filling yourself with. So one of the first questions I have for you is, what are you listening to? Right? When you get up, or do you mindfully just turn the radio on? Do you mindfully, maybe you're not listening to anything. Maybe it's just complete silence. But if you are listening to stuff, what are you listening to? Like, what's your favorite song? Is there a song that you have that really gets you juiced up in the morning? Right? We actually, when Michael was alive, we would come up with a family theme song every year. And I will say that this particular family theme song was our theme song for several years. And it was Don't Stop Believing for Journey. Now, no matter where we were at, as soon as you would hear Don't Stop Believing or the beginning of that, you couldn't stop but smile. You couldn't stop smiling when the song came on. But we would all stop for a minute, and you would just listen to the words of that song, right? But come on, you can't tell me when you hear the start of that song, Just a Small Town Girl, that you don't stop everything that you're doing and sing along, right? Because you know what's coming next. And then if you're in a bar, the entire room just starts singing Don't Stop Believing. So we were happy to have that as our family theme song, because towards the end of Michael's life, there were a lot of things that we were going through that we needed that extra boost of faith. So I think music plays a big part in our lives, but also listening to that music. Either it can juice you up, it can bring back a memory, it can make you very thoughtful, it can make you smile. There are a lot of times when Don't Stop Believing comes on now, and my son and I will look at each other and think, yep, Dad's thinking about us. He just wants us to know that he's still there. Every year in January, I pull my team together and we go to a retreat. And even with that, we come up with a theme song. And I try and do something that's kind of current. There was one year that we did, actually this year's theme is Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. And a couple years ago, it was Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. And then we actually used Don't Stop Believing one year as one of our themes. You know, I feel like music plays such a part. And every time our team would hear that song, it made them think back to that retreat and all the goals that we put in place and the crazy cool goals that we wanted them to think about. But, so many times we don't actually commandeer the type of music that we want to hear. You just mindlessly put the radio on or put something on, and you let nature take its course with what you're listening to. And I was listening to the book, Don't Stop Apologizing, or Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. And she was sharing in her book that she actually purchased an Alexa device for her bathroom. so that way then when she was getting ready in the morning, she could put on whatever music that she wanted to juice herself up and to really get herself motivated. And I thought to myself, that's absolutely genius. So many times I think that we just go with the flow, whatever's there. But I don't know about you. I don't always wake up in a good mood in the morning. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep the night before. Maybe it's cold outside and I wanted to stay in bed, but I knew I needed to get up. So I need to do whatever I can to make sure that my state is, I want to be in the best state that I possibly can so that I can be the best state for you, for our listeners, the best state that I have for my team, and the best mom that I can be to my son. And that doesn't come naturally. So I thought putting an Alexa in the bathroom, the Rachel Hollis suggestion, was phenomenal, because now I can tell Alexa to play whatever song that I want to play. And it can be positive and it can be uplifting. Maybe I just want something a little bit more melancholy to kind of calm me down from the end of the day, whatever that's like. But I get to be the one to call the shots. I get to be the one to say what I want to listen to. So interestingly enough, I started to listen to a Christian music channel. And it's just something that plays in the background while I'm working or while I'm getting ready in the morning. And I wake up a lot of times in the middle of the night, whether it's because my bladder tells me I have to get up in the middle of the night, or, there's a noise that I heard. But, it's interesting. Subconsciously, I've woken up. And until about 6 months ago, I really didn't listen to a lot of Christian music. But I woke up in the middle of the night, and some of those songs that I listen to in the morning are automatically playing in my head. And again, that sparked the thought. I thought, what is it that we're putting into our bodies that our subconscious grabs a hold of, and then it's actually putting that back out again? So I want you to really think about that. And, think about the teenagers now. So many of them seem like they walk around angry. What is it that they're listening to? If you listen to some of the music, I'm wondering if they change their music and they change that tune in their head, if that would make them happier as they walked around and they became happier individuals. And maybe you're not a music person. Maybe you want to listen to podcasts like the one that you're listening to now, which you have hopefully subscribed to this podcast, hint, hint. But the podcasts that you're listening to, are they motivational? Are they inspirational? Are they uplifting? Is it something that gives you juice? Is it something that you can take tidbits away from and then use it in your everyday life? What about audiobooks? I've become a huge proponent of audiobooks. And part of it is that when Michael was alive, I had somebody talking to me and I had somebody to talk to when I was in the car. All of a sudden, there's silence in the car. If my son's not with me, I'm by myself. And so I thought, I need to have some interaction. And maybe it's not even me talking to them. Maybe it's them talking to me. So I've become a huge proponent for audiobooks. And I'll tell you, I read not as much as I should, but it's been amazing the lessons that I've learned and some of the books that I have taken and I've listened to on now having audiobooks. Like I said, the Girl Stop Apologizing was one of them. I'm not sure that I would have taken the time to actually sit down and read that book, but it was a great book because I was able to listen to it and I was able to multitask, right? I was driving and I was listening to a book at the same time. So now that you know, we're talking about what you're listening to, move to what are you watching? Like, do you get up in the morning every day and turn the news on? Why would you want to start your day with that? Why would you want to start your day with a local shooting or a local robbery or a local fatal car accident? What does that set you up for when that's how you start your day? Wouldn't you rather have something that would be uplifting? I found that we have a Roku, and Roku actually has YouTube on it. And if you go to YouTube, you can search all kinds of motivational and inspirational, if it's not music, but they've got all kinds of videos that are on there that you can put on the television if that's something that you want to do. Are you watching things that are feeding your intelligence? Or are you watching things that just feed your mind because you just need to take a break? That's how I am. I don't watch much television, but I will tell you what, my guilty pleasures are America's Got Talent and American Ninja Warrior. I love being able to watch those people. They're heroes in the fact they're heroes in their own lives. Like the gentleman that just won America's Got Talent is a blind autistic person that had a beautiful voice and took the challenge to be able to stand up and say, I want to share my talent with the world. I want other people to hear me sing. I want to share my voice with people. And he had the courage to get up in front of this audience, and he was able to sing, and he ended up winning America's Got Talent. Now I think he'll have a show in Las Vegas. But I love watching those inspirational stories. I love watching that. Now, there are some really goofy acts on America's Got Talent. And so those make me laugh, and that feeds my spirit too, because I just need to laugh sometimes. American Ninja Warrior, the strength that those individuals have, the pressure that they put their body through, but what they feed their body to allow it to perform at that level, to me is absolutely positively amazing. So I want you to be aware of what is it that you're watching, right? The last thing you want to do is watch a crime show at the end of your night and then go to bed. Do you think that you're going to have sweet dreams if you're watching a crime show and then you want to go to bed? No, you're going to dream about that crime show, or that's what's going to be in your mind, is those negative components from that particular show. So you want to just really be aware of what you're watching as well as what you're listening to. So I have some very interesting statistics. Let me say that again. Statistics about social media, because maybe you're not watching television at all, but maybe your guilty pleasure is social media. And so I want to share these with you because there are a lot of people that social media is their guilty pleasure. So let's talk about Facebook. According to Sephora Digital Marketing, as of June of 2019, 2.41 billion monthly active users are on Facebook. And that's an 8% increase over 2018. 159 billion people log into Facebook daily. 300 million photo uploads each day, and there are 5 new profiles created every second. Now take a step back and listen to that. 2.41 billion monthly active users. People are on Facebook. More people are on Facebook than aren't on Facebook, I would think. Snapchat, also by the same source, this Sephora Digital Marketing, 203 million daily active users, also up 8% from 2018. Now this app is opened 20 times a day and for an average of 30 minutes. Can you believe that? What are people doing? What are you filling your mind with when you're on the social media? I remember that I would be on Facebook and my late husband would say to me, "What are you looking for?" And my response would be, "I don't know. I'm just looking. I'm just looking to see." But what am I filling my mind with? Am I filling my mind with other people's adventures? I really took a step back and started to think about that. Instagram. According to Jumper Media, 1 billion accounts have been created on Instagram. 500 million accounts are active daily. 95 million photos are shared daily. And 38% of the users log in multiple times a day on Instagram. So why is this important? First of all, again, same question. What are people looking for in social media? And, the other thing is too, is you think about when you're looking at social media, you're basically looking at people's Kodak moments. You're not seeing real life. There was a picture once that I loved being able to see, and it was this perfect family, right? It was a mom, a dad, and it was 3 kids. I can't remember whether it was 2 girls and a boy or 2 boys and a girl. But you saw this picture, and it was in front of the fireplace, and it was at Christmas time, and they had the Christmas tree up, and it looked as if they were the absolute perfect family. Only what you didn't see was moments earlier where the mom was screaming at the dad was screaming at the mom, the kid's hair was all over the place. There was not a hair in place. It was literally standing up on end, and that was the reality of their life. But the picture was that 60-second Kodak moment. That's what people are putting on social media, is they're putting their 60-second Kodak moment. So if you spend a lot of time on social media, are you comparing your real world life to somebody else's Kodak moments? And if you are, you need to take a step back and really think about that. Why would you be filling your mind with other people's Kodak moments? Why aren't you out living your own life? Why aren't you out there making your own Kodak moments? Right? You want to make sure that you're not comparing your real life to other people's Kodak moments. You want to be careful what you're watching. And so when you see all of the news and the social media stuff, then what are you saying to yourself? Mel Robbins has an awesome TED Talk, and it mentions that we talk to ourselves worse than we would tolerate anybody else talking to us. So, how do you speak to yourself? Are you nice to yourself? Are you mean to yourself? You need to really pay attention to the self talk, and you need to ask better questions, right? If I ask myself, why am I fat or why am I overweight? I'm going to get all of the answers because you eat too much, because you don't exercise. Now, I'm really trying to eat better and exercise. I know that those are challenges, but just think about, instead of asking myself, why am I fat? What if I asked myself a better question, like, how can I be healthier? How can I increase my stamina on a brisk walk? How can I burn 200 more calories a day? Ask yourself better questions because you're kinder to yourself, right? And they'll be able to give you a better answer. It's hard to be hard on yourself. I heard somebody said that sometimes the bad stuff is easier to believe. I want to share with you a couple of things that I do daily that really help set my day up for success. Because if I don't set myself up for success, the day's just going to get away from me, and everything is going to come however, whether I want it to come or not. And many times it's going to come not the way that I want it to come. So let me tell you a few things that I do on a daily basis to set myself up for success. In the morning, the first thing that I do is I write my goals. Every single morning, I sit down and I talk them out loud. I say them out loud and I write down my goals. It's the same goals every single day. So that way, then those are in front of me. And that starts my focus for the day, are the goals that I want to make sure that I accomplish in the long term. And then there are times where I can ask my question, okay, what do I need to do today to make sure that I'm really focused on achieving those goals? The second thing that I do is I do a nightly gratitude journal. What better way to go to bed at night, and what better way to fill yourself than to write 10 things that you're grateful for? And maybe it was just to have a roof over my head. Maybe it was just to have warm running water. Maybe it was just to have, a great child. Whatever those 10 things are, be grateful for. Go to sleep at night with a sense of gratitude. And then I really want you to think about making a list, because I do. I have a daily list of I am statements, right? Nobody is going to speak. Well, I can't say nobody, but being a widow now and not having a partner in crime, when Michael would speak faith into me every single day, I miss having that person that would come to me and say, you know what, Kimmer, you're doing a good job. You really are smart. You can do this. I don't have that person anymore to speak that into me, so I have to speak that into myself. So I have a list. It's actually, they're smaller index cards. They're probably 2x4, and they're on a ring. And I wrote all of these I am statements. I am brave. I am vivacious. I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me. I can do the impossible. One of them is I'm still here for a reason. I have to create my own I am statements so that I can fill myself with that faith on a daily basis, because I don't have that person that in my life that was my partner that loves me unconditionally, that would actually speak those words of faith into me. So I have to do that myself. So I want to encourage you. So I want you to take this challenge the next week. Let's see what would happen. So only listen to uplifting music, right? Don't put anything that would bring you down. Just take your Alexa, put it on Pandora, come up with something that would only give you uplifting music. I want you to stay away from social media, or maybe even just limit your social media. See what would happen if you weren't getting a glimpse into everybody else's life, but you were concentrated more on what was happening in your life. Every morning, get up and write your goals. And if you don't have any goals, I want to challenge you. We've got 2.5 months before the end of the year. 2019 isn't over yet. You've got plenty of time to achieve some really big things. So what are those big things that you want to put into place before December 31st? And then every morning, get up and write down what those goals are, so that that's your focus every single day. Every evening, write down 10 things that you're grateful for. Try and go to bed with an attitude of gratitude and with gratefulness in your heart. What would that do for a restful night's sleep when you weren't worrying about anything? What would that do for you in the morning? And in the notes of this podcast, I'm going to put a sheet, And I want you to download it. I've created a sheet that is I am statements. And actually what I've done is I've just given you the I am, and I want you to fill that in. There'll be about 10 of them on there. And keep that sheet close to you. Maybe even post it in the bathroom in the morning. And every morning, get up and recite the I am statements to yourself so that you can empower yourself each morning with your own I am statements. So I want you to try that for a week and see what would happen. See how that changes. Make notes of what that does for you and your mental health and the life that you have and that you're carving out for yourself. So if you have any questions or would like to share with me how this podcast has helped you, or if it gives you some ideas, please feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.